Hello, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you very much for joining us. We've got another cooler change on the way as autumn starts to be felt right across the country. It was certainly a cooler morning this morning, and we're expecting that again in the next couple of days ahead as we get this southerly change sweeping up. But there is some good news. It brings in some wet weather to the eastern side of the country that really needs it. So we've got an update on rainfall for the next 7 days ahead at the very end. But let's kick off with the wind map. Today's wind map, slightly different colouring because it's showing where all the energy is. In other words, if you're a power company and you generate your money off windmills and off the wind, then obviously you're looking at this going as a bit of money. So the brighter you see, that's the more energy that the wind will be making. So there's a fair bit of energy coming through for the lower part of New Zealand. In other words, windy for the lower South Island, and that's going to spread up the country. So as we go through Wednesday, that windy weather, windy Wednesday, blows through the North Island. It's a nor'wester, so it won't be very cold, but it also won't be as hot as the winds we've had in the recent weeks, which were a lot more subtropical. This one's actually coming up and around as a nor'wester, so it's not one of those big subtropical ones. Further down the country, in comes that colder airflow as this weak low moves in. Most of the wet weather on the west coast and down around Southland and coastal parts of Otago, or actually really right across Otago, you might get patches of rain. Please drill down deeper by going to ruralweather.co.nz. Right, as we move through to the Thursday, the rain moves into the North Island, so now it's a chance for Hawke's Bay, because this is a southeasterly, and we were talking about this just the other day, saying this is what you need. You need a wet easterly to drive in some wet weather here, and there does look like there is a chance on Thursday of that happening in Hawke's Bay as that sou'easter comes through. And it's a weak system. It's not the best in the world, but it's still better than being completely dry. Like I say, we'll show you some rainfall figures in a moment, and you see that high pressure belt from the Tasman growing back over the South Island. So following a southerly with a high on top, the cold air goes down to the valleys. You'll notice it'll be a colder morning, well, a colder night and a colder morning when you wake up on Thursday. And again on Friday, it'll be a cold morning in the South Island. Well, sorry, I should say cool. Let's not get carried away. We're not winter yet, but it will be cooler than it has been. So single digit temperatures in most places. In the North Island, you've got the southeasterly winds, so sunny in many of these western areas. A couple of showers clipping Great Barrier Island and Coromandel. And this weekend, a couple more showers remain in the top of the country, caught up in that easterly flow. I said yesterday, don't bank on those showers for Auckland, and right now today they are even lighter and being pushed further north of Auckland because of this little dip here in the isobars. You've got this big high, generally speaking settled, but a little bit of a dip in the isobars, enough to drag in a couple of showers, maybe. I still think they'll probably disappear further in the next couple of updates. And our final map for Sunday shows that big high. It's out to the east, in fact centred east of the Chatham Islands, stretching back over the North Island. Now we're getting subtropical winds coming back into the South Island. The warmth comes back. So, a couple of cooler days later this week, a couple of colder nights, but then the warmth does come back on Sunday with the windy conditions as well. And this is a classic autumn weather map, if you ask me, because you've got high pressure, which is pretty strong, but around it, you've got these southerlies that are surging northwards. Tasmania gets that on Sunday. So while we're getting warmer, they've got another cold shot, which means that's coming our way as well. The rainfall figures for the next week ahead. This is promising. The rainfall over here on the eastern side getting up between 50 to 70 millimetres. Now, if that happens, that'll be amazing. That will really, really make a big difference because it is drought-like over here at the moment. So to get that rain in right now with a wet sou'easter, perfect. So I hope that those are the accumulations that we end up getting. The very top of the country, not as much, 5 to 15 millimetres, so not very much coming for these dry areas like Auckland. And further down around Canterbury and Otago, also fairly dry. Despite this little wet southerly coming through, the North Island looks like it's got the better chance in the east of rain. Down here, you're looking at just 2 to 15 millimetres of rain along the eastern South Island. That's all from me for today. We'll be back again on Wednesday with our next update.